You've been giving too much. You've been giving your energy, your time, your heart, your attention to people who don't value it. And you think that's love. You think that's loyalty. You think that's kindness, but deep down you feel exhausted. You feel drained. You feel invisible. You feel like no matter what you do, it's never enough. And that feeling, it's breaking you. But here's the truth that almost nobody tells you. The more you care about what people think, the less space you have to care for yourself. And the more you try to please everyone, the more you lose yourself. If you keep watching this video, you're going to discover the reason why you've been so tired all the time, why your kindness feels like a burden, and most importantly, how to finally take back control of your peace, your happiness, and your life. And if you skip it, you could miss the very thing that's been quietly stealing your energy for years. The problem is bigger than just feeling drained. It's deeper than just being tired. It's that you're living in a cycle. You give, they take. You love, they don't notice. You care, they don't appreciate. You sacrifice, they walk away. And after a while, you start questioning yourself. You wonder if you're too much. You wonder if you're too sensitive. You wonder if you're the problem. But here's the harsh truth. You're not the problem. The problem is that you've been carrying other people's expectations, opinions, and emotions like they were your own. You've been bending, shaping, shrinking, hiding your true self just to keep others comfortable. You've been trying to fix people who never asked for your help, trying to save people who don't want saving, and bending over backward for people who would never do the same for you. And every time you do this, every time you care too much, you lose a little piece of yourself. Imagine this. You wake up tomorrow, and instead of immediately thinking about what people will say about your choices, what they think about your life, or how they feel about you, you think only about yourself. You think about your peace. You think about your growth. You think about your purpose. Can you imagine how different your life would feel if you stopped giving your energy to everyone who doesn't deserve it? Can you imagine feeling light again? Can you imagine your heart not carrying the weight of the world, not carrying the mistakes, the pain, or the insecurities of others? This is not selfishness. This is self-preservation. This is where real freedom begins. And in the next few minutes, you'll understand exactly how to stop over-caring, how to reclaim your peace, and how to finally start living life on your own terms. First, understand one fundamental truth. You cannot please everyone. No matter how much you try, no matter how hard you work, no matter how much love you pour out, someone will always find a reason to criticize you, dislike you, or misunderstand you. And the more you're trying to force their approval, the more you lose yourself. You could spend years molding yourself to fit their expectations, softening your voice, hiding your thoughts, pretending to be someone you're not. And still, it would never be enough. The reality is, most people don't even like themselves, and their opinions have nothing to do with your worth. But when you believe their opinions do define you, you give them power over your happiness, your decisions, and your peace. You start living for applause instead of truth. You start shrinking so others feel comfortable. You start questioning your every move, replaying conversations in your mind, wondering if you said something wrong, or if maybe, just maybe, the problem is you. But it isn't. The problem is giving your peace to people who don't deserve it. You need to realize the moment you stop caring about how others see you is the moment you start seeing yourself clearly. Stop chasing validation from people who can't even validate themselves. Stop trying to win approval from people who are too busy living in their own insecurities. Once you do this, you'll notice a shift. You'll notice your energy returns. You'll notice your heart stops carrying the weight of unnecessary worries. You'll start walking differently. You'll start speaking differently. You'll start living differently. And that is only the beginning, because there's more to this than just freeing yourself from people's opinions. There's a deeper reason why caring too much has been draining you, and it's time you discover it before it drains even more from your life. The second problem is thinking you can save everyone. You probably tried it. You probably stayed up late listening to their problems, giving advice, holding them when they cry, forgiving them when they hurt you, and believing they would change if you just did one more thing. You believe that if you just gave more, loved harder, or sacrificed again, they would finally see the light. But nothing changes. They repeat the same mistakes. They hurt you again. They break promises. They take, they leave, they disappoint. And then you blame yourself. You tell yourself you didn't do enough. You tell yourself you could have said the right words. You tell yourself you were the reason they're still struggling. But the truth is, you cannot save people who don't want saving. You cannot live their lives for them. You cannot carry their burdens as your own. The most loving thing you can do sometimes is let them face the consequences of their choices, even if it's painful to watch. Every time you rescue them from their mistakes, you deny them the lesson they need to grow. And every time you do that, you rob yourself of your peace. You were never meant to fix everyone. That is not your responsibility. That is not your job. That is not your calling. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to release yourself from that exhausting role without feeling guilty, so that your energy returns and your soul breathes again. And here's a truth that most people overlook. Caring too much doesn't just drain your heart, it clouds your focus. Every moment you spend worrying about how others view you, every thought consumed with their judgments, every sleepless night replaying conversations or obsessing over why someone ignored you, it all distracts from your own path. You stop growing, you stop progressing. You stop living the life you were meant to live because you are too busy living in other people's heads. Most people are too busy with their own lives to care about yours. And those who do criticize are usually projecting their fears and insecurities. So why let them control your mind and your decisions? Caring too much doesn't make you kind. It makes you controlled. It makes you small. It makes you forget who you are. But once you stop over caring about the opinions of others, you start walking boldly. You start speaking freely. You start making choices for yourself, not for the approval of people who don't even know what they want. And in this video, I'm going to guide you step by step on how to stop letting the opinions of others define your actions and start living for yourself. You also have to understand that not everyone deserves your energy. Some people only come into your life to take. They take your patience, your kindness, your love, your time, and leave you empty. They call when they need something and disappear when you need them. They pretend to care, but their loyalty lasts only as long as it suits them. You keep hoping they will change, but they won't. People who truly value you don't need reminders. They show it through their actions. And here's the key: your energy is sacred. When you stop giving it away to people who don't respect it, you make room for those who truly appreciate it. You make space for peace, for growth, for real love. And that is exactly what I'm going to teach you in this video: how to recognize who deserves your heart, who deserves your time, and who deserves your attention, so you stop wasting your life on people who are never going to reciprocate. Caring too much can also turn into fear. Think about it. How many times have you said yes when your heart screamed no? How many times have you held your tongue to keep peace with people who don't deserve it? How many times have you hidden your truth, dimmed your light, and avoided standing for yourself because you feared rejection or judgment? That fear is not kindness. It's not loyalty. It's not love. It's self-doubt masquerading as care. What if I told you that the moment you stop fearing rejection, the moment you stop needing everyone's approval, the moment you stop living for other people, is the moment you start finding who truly belongs in your life? The people who matter will stay. The people who belong will love you for your authenticity. And the peace that comes from this understanding is priceless. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to walk into that peace, how to stop fearing what others think, and how to finally start living without apology. If you don't keep watching, you'll miss the most important lessons about reclaiming your peace, discovering your worth, and freeing yourself from people who drain you silently every day. This isn't just motivation, it's a blueprint for taking back your life before it's too late. Now imagine a life where you are no longer exhausted by everyone else's expectations. Imagine waking up in the morning and not having to replay yesterday's conversations in your head. Imagine making decisions based on what feels right for you, not on what will keep others happy or prevent them from judging you. Imagine living without the constant, heavy weight of other people's opinions pressing down on your shoulders. That life is possible, and it starts with one choice: choosing yourself, choosing your peace, choosing to care less about the noise, the judgment, and the chaos of the world that doesn't even know how much it drains you. One of the hardest lessons is realizing that you cannot fix everyone. You cannot make people love you, respect you, or appreciate you. You cannot heal them, save them, or carry them through their mistakes. You've probably spent years believing that if you just gave more, if you just tried harder, they would finally see your value. But the truth is, the people who truly matter, the ones who are meant to be in your life, will see it without reminders. And the people who don't will never see it, no matter how much you sacrifice. You can't live your life carrying the pain, failure, and insecurities of others as if they were your own. That's not love. That's not loyalty. That's a silent kind of self-destruction that nobody talks about. And the first step to breaking free from that cycle is understanding that your role is not to save everyone. Your role is to protect yourself. Your role is to grow. Your role is to live in alignment with your purpose. Caring too much also clouds your focus. It shifts your energy away from what truly matters. Every time you obsess over what someone thinks about your choices, how they judge your actions, or why they didn't appreciate something you did, you're letting them steal your attention from your growth, your dreams, and your progress. You probably noticed it yourself. The more you try to control how others perceive you, the less control you have over your own life. You spend hours analyzing social interactions, second-guessing yourself, or replaying conversations that don't even matter anymore. And meanwhile, the goals you set for yourself, the dreams you've been holding in your heart, are slowly slipping further away. But here's the good news. The moment you stop giving people that power, the moment you stop caring so much about approval, judgment, and validation, is the moment you start reclaiming your focus. That is when your energy starts aligning with your purpose. That is when you start living intentionally, instead of reacting to everything and everyone around you. Another truth is that not everyone deserves your energy. Some people are energy thieves. They come into your life and take everything they can, leaving you empty. They only call when they need something, disappear when you need them, and rarely, if ever, reciprocate your efforts. You've spent far too long hoping these people would change, hoping they would appreciate you, hoping they would see your value, but they won't. And it's not your job to make them. You deserve people who bring you peace, not chaos. You deserve people who match your effort, who respect your boundaries, and who lift you rather than drain you. Your energy is sacred. Treat it that way. Protect it, guard it. Stop giving it to those who will never cherish it. And once you start doing this, you'll notice something incredible. Your life begins to open doors you didn't even know existed. Opportunities, people, and experiences that align with your growth suddenly become visible because your energy is no longer scattered and drained. Caring too much can also create fear disguised as kindness. Fear of rejection, fear of judgment, fear of being disliked. How many times have you said yes when your heart screamed no? How many times have you avoided speaking up, avoided conflict, avoided being yourself just to keep the peace? That fear is not love. That fear is not loyalty. That fear is not kindness. That fear is a silent prison you've been living in, convinced that pleasing others is more important than protecting your heart. What if I told you that stepping out of that fear is the key to finding the people who truly belong in your life? The moment you stop caring about fitting in, the moment you stop shrinking yourself for others, is the moment you start discovering who genuinely values you. And the peace, the clarity, and the freedom that comes from this understanding cannot be overstated. Think about your day-to-day life. How much of your energy is spent worrying about what others think? How much of it is spent justifying your choices or explaining yourself to people who will never understand? How much of it is spent trying to save people who don't want saving? And now imagine taking all that energy back for yourself. Imagine using it to pursue your goals, to nourish your soul, to invest in your health, your family, your faith, and your dreams. That is not selfishness. That is self-respect. That is wisdom. That is what every strong, fulfilled, and unstoppable person understands. They know that their energy is valuable. They know that their peace is non-negotiable. They know that caring too much about people who drain them is a silent form of self-destruction. Your peace is priceless, and protecting it requires boundaries. It requires saying no when your heart says no. It requires walking away from people, situations, and responsibilities that no longer serve your growth or your happiness. It means being selective with who you give your time and energy to. It means understanding that your silence can be more powerful than any explanation. It means choosing distance over chaos, growth over approval, and clarity over confusion. Every time you give away your peace to those who don't value it, you lose yourself a little more. And every time you choose to guard it, you reclaim a piece of your soul. And here's something else that's powerful. God sees what they don't. Even when you feel invisible, unappreciated, or overlooked, God is aware of every effort you make, every moment you've been patient, every time you've been kind, every time you carry people when they should carry themselves. God sees your struggles, your sacrifices, your silent battles, and your intentions. And while you may be worried about people who walk away or ignore you, God is preparing people, opportunities, and blessings that those same people could never even imagine. Sometimes rejection is protection. Sometimes letting go is guidance. And sometimes the people who leave are simply clearing space for what you truly deserve. Now, here's the key step that most people miss. Caring less doesn't mean you stop loving. It doesn't mean you stop being kind. It doesn't mean you become cold. It means you stop suffering for the wrong reasons. It means you stop giving your energy to those who would never give back. It means you start valuing your own peace over other people's chaos. It means you prioritize your growth, your faith, your purpose, and your well-being over the endless noise of judgment, criticism, and expectation. The strongest people are not the ones who care about everything. They are the ones who know exactly what is worth their energy and what isn't. And here's the final truth. You are allowed to walk away. You are allowed to distance yourself from those who drain you. You are allowed to stop explaining yourself to people who will never understand. You are allowed to choose yourself after years of choosing everyone else. You are not being selfish. You are healing. You are reclaiming your power. You are finally giving yourself permission to live for you. From today, you don't have to carry the guilt that isn't yours. You don't have to fix what isn't your responsibility. You don't have to sacrifice your peace for people who will never appreciate it. You can start over. You can rebuild. You can protect your heart. You can finally, fully, without apology, choose peace over approval. If you stop watching now, you might miss the most important step, the one that will finally allow you to reclaim your energy, protect your heart, and start living a life aligned with your purpose. Everything you've given away so far could be returned to you, but only if you keep going. The rest of this video reveals how to turn this knowledge into real freedom, self-respect, and unstoppable confidence. When you finally stop over-caring, you begin to see the power in your own hands. The power you've been giving away to people who never deserved it. You start realizing that your time, your energy, your attention, your kindness, they are all precious resources. And just like money, you wouldn't give them away to someone who doesn't respect their value. So why give your heart, your peace, and your life to people who drain you? The moment you stop is the moment you start seeing yourself for who you truly are. You stop shrinking to make others comfortable. You stop dimming your light so people don't feel threatened by it. You stop apologizing for your presence in the world. That is the beginning of real freedom. That is the beginning of walking the path you were born to walk. And it all starts with one decision: to care less about what doesn't serve you and more about what fuels your growth. You've been caring too much for too long. You spend sleepless nights worrying, second-guessing, replaying conversations, fixing mistakes that weren't yours, loving people who didn't deserve it. And for what? Exhaustion, heartbreak, confusion, pain. That's the cycle of overcaring. But here's the good news. It doesn't have to stay that way. You can break free. You can stop giving your power away. You can stop being controlled by other people's opinions, fears, and insecurities. You can choose to invest your energy only in what truly matters: your growth, your peace, your faith, your purpose, your family, and yourself. That is the life you were meant to live. That is the freedom you've been searching for. Think about the people in your life. How many of them have taken more than they've given? How many have demanded your attention without reciprocating? How many have hurt you, ignored you, or disappointed you, yet you keep giving them another chance? That's the problem. The people who truly deserve you, your time, your effort, your love, they will show it consistently. They will match your energy without you having to force it. And the people who don't, let them go. Stop trying to mold them into who you need them to be. Stop giving them a power they never earned. When you stop caring so much about these people, when you finally let go, you make space for the people who will elevate you, support you, and value you as you deserve. There's also a spiritual dimension to this. God sees the things people don't. He sees your silent struggles, your effort, your sacrifice, your patience, your love. He sees every time you've been kind when no one else noticed. Every time you've held people when they should have held themselves. Every time you've given your all and felt empty in return. God sees it all. And while you're worried about those who walked away, God is preparing blessings, opportunities, and people for you that those same people could never even imagine. Sometimes people are allowed to leave so the right ones can enter. Sometimes rejection is protection. Sometimes letting go is a form of divine guidance. And when you understand this, the weight of carrying too much starts to lift, and your heart begins to feel lighter than it has in years. Here's the key. Caring less doesn't mean you stop loving. It doesn't mean you become cold. It doesn't mean you stop helping. It means you stop suffering unnecessarily. It means you stop giving your heart and energy to people who would never do the same for you. It means you start prioritizing your own peace over the chaos of others. It means you focus on the people and things that matter and release the rest. That is the ultimate freedom. That is how you reclaim control over your life. That is how you stop being exhausted, frustrated, and drained. And that's exactly what this video is going to help you do step by step, so you can start living a life filled with peace, clarity, and purpose. You are allowed to walk away from people who drain you. You are allowed to stop explaining yourself to those who don't understand. You are allowed to stop chasing approval, validation, recognition from people who will never give it. You are allowed to rebuild, restart, and protect your heart. That is not selfishness. That is self-respect. That is strength. You are not wrong for choosing silence over chaos, distance over confusion, and peace over unnecessary sacrifice. Every time you choose to protect your energy, you reclaim a piece of yourself. Every time you say no to someone who doesn't deserve your yes, you open the door for someone who will truly value it. And every time you stop over caring about what others think, you get closer to the person you were always meant to be. Now, here's the most important truth. Your self-worth is not determined by who stays or leaves, who notices you or ignores you, who approves or disapproves. Your self-worth is measured by how strongly you stand when people walk away, when situations fail, when circumstances challenge you, and when others refuse to see your value. People will always come and go. Opinions will always vary. Circumstances will always change. But your peace, your clarity, your purpose, and your integrity, these are yours to protect. These are yours to nurture. And the moment you decide to care less about what doesn't serve you and more about what aligns with your truth, is the moment your life begins to change. That is the moment you stop living for approval and start living for your destiny. Every time you overcare about the meaningless, you give your power away. Every time you try to fix what isn't yours, you lose a little more of yourself. Every time you give your energy to people who will never value it, you allow your peace to be stolen. But the moment you choose differently, the moment you prioritize your growth, your faith, your purpose, your family, your heart, everything changes. You step into your power. You step into freedom. You step into peace. And that is what this video is all about. That is the reward waiting for you on the other side of letting go. So today I want you to make a promise to yourself. No more overthinking. No more people pleasing. No more worrying about things that steal your joy. Care deeply about what truly matters. Care deeply about your faith, your peace, your growth, your purpose, and your family. But stop caring about the things, people, and opinions that God has already handled or that were never yours to carry in the first place. You are not responsible for everyone's happiness. You are responsible for your own. And the moment you understand that, the moment you act on it, your life begins to transform. You begin to live in freedom. You begin to walk with confidence. You begin to feel peace like you haven't in years. And the best part, the people, opportunities, and blessings that are meant for you will start to appear naturally, without force, without struggle, without compromise. If this message has touched you, remember this: your peace is your power. Your energy is sacred. Your heart is priceless. Protect it like your life depends on it, because it does. And when you stop caring too much about the things that steal your joy, the people who drain you, and the opinions that don't matter, you'll finally begin living the life you were born to live. And that life is full of freedom, purpose, peace, and divine alignment. The transformation begins with a choice. And the choice is yours. If you don't act now, you risk giving your energy, your peace, and your life away to people who don't deserve it. The next part will show the ultimate step to reclaiming your power, your freedom, and your destiny. Keep watching, because this is where everything comes together and your life can finally change. Now is the moment to take everything you've learned and put it into practice. You've seen how caring too much has been silently draining you. How trying to please everyone has kept you from your purpose. and how giving your energy to people who don't deserve it has left your heart exhausted. But the most powerful truth of all is this: you have the power to change everything. You have the power to reclaim your peace. You have the power to protect your energy. You have the power to walk away from anything or anyone that doesn't serve your growth. And when you finally make that choice, your life begins to transform in ways you never thought possible. Stop giving your heart, your time, and your energy to people who won't honor it. Stop bending yourself to fit the expectations of those who don't understand or appreciate you. Stop trying to fix others when you haven't fixed yourself. Stop shrinking, silencing, or softening your truth just to keep others comfortable. Every moment you've spent overcaring has been a moment stolen from your life, from your growth, and from your purpose. But the moment you take it back, everything changes. You start seeing clearly. You start walking confidently. You start living boldly. You start making decisions based on your values, your goals, and your peace. You are allowed to choose yourself. You are allowed to walk away. You are allowed to stop explaining, stop justifying, and stop overthinking. You are allowed to say no without guilt, to protect your energy, to prioritize your peace, and to invest in what truly matters. And when you do, you'll notice something miraculous. The people who truly belong in your life will stay. The opportunities that are meant for you will come. Your growth will accelerate. Your heart will feel lighter. Your mind will feel clearer. And your life will finally feel aligned with the purpose you were born to fulfill. Remember, your peace is priceless. Your energy is sacred. Your time is limited. Protect all of these like your life depends on them, because they do. The more you overcare about things, people, or opinions that drain you, the more you give away your life. The more you guard your peace, choose your battles wisely, and invest in what matters, the more you reclaim your power. And that power is the key to living the life you've always wanted. God sees what others don't. He sees your sacrifices, your struggles, your patience, and your effort. He sees your silent battles, your attempts to help, and your moments of doubt. And while you've been worried about those who don't appreciate you, He's preparing blessings, opportunities, and people that are meant for you, things those same people could never even imagine. Sometimes people are allowed to leave so the right ones can enter. Sometimes rejection is protection. Sometimes letting go is guidance. And when you trust in that, your heart begins to feel lighter, your mind clear, and your life aligned with divine purpose. Now, take a deep breath and let this truth settle in. Caring too much is not strength. Protecting your heart, valuing your energy, setting boundaries, and walking away from what doesn't serve you, that is strength. Choosing peace over chaos, clarity over confusion, faith over fear, that is power. Choosing yourself, your growth, your purpose, your faith, and your family, that is wisdom. And when you live like this, you'll realize the people, situations, and opportunities that belong in your life will find their way to you naturally, effortlessly, and without struggle. From today, make this promise to yourself: no more overthinking, no more people-pleasing, no more carrying burdens that were never yours, no more giving your heart, your time, or your energy to people who will never appreciate it. Care deeply about what truly matters: your peace, your growth, your purpose, your faith, and your loved ones. But stop caring about what doesn't serve you, what's beyond your control, and what drains you unnecessarily. Your happiness is not dependent on others. Your peace is not negotiable. Your life is yours to live. And here's the ultimate reward. The moment you stop caring too much is the moment you start living fully. The moment you reclaim your energy is the moment your life begins to transform. The moment you prioritize yourself is the moment you walk in freedom. The moment you trust God with what you cannot control is the moment you finally understand your true value. That is when the doors begin to open. That is when people start showing up who genuinely belong. That is when your purpose becomes clear. That is when peace, joy, and fulfillment become permanent companions in your life. So today, I want you to take a stand. Decide to protect your heart. Decide to guard your energy. Decide to stop overcaring, people-pleasing, and living for approval. Decide to prioritize your peace, your growth, and your purpose above everything else. Walk away from what no longer serves you. Set boundaries. Choose silence over chaos. Choose clarity over confusion. Choose peace over unnecessary suffering. And trust that God is handling what you cannot. Remember, you are not selfish for choosing yourself. You are not rude for protecting your peace. You are not wrong for setting boundaries. You are not cold for walking away from people who don't deserve your energy. You are simply growing. You are simply reclaiming your power. You are simply living the life you were born to live. One day, you'll look back and realize that every person you stopped over caring for, every boundary you set, every time you chose peace over approval was worth it. Your life will thank you for it. Your heart will thank you for it. And your soul will finally feel free. So today, make this choice. Care deeply about what matters. Care less about what drains you. Trust in God's plan. Protect your energy. Guard your peace. Walk away from what doesn't serve you. Reclaim your power. Step into your purpose. Live boldly. Live freely. Live fully. Your peace is your power. Your energy is your wealth. Your life is your responsibility. And from this moment on, you get to live it on your own terms. You've cared enough. You've given enough. You've tried enough. Now it's your turn. Protect yourself. Stand firm and rise. Stay grounded. Stay strong. And remember, God sees what others don't. He values your heart. He honors your effort. He blesses your faith. And He is preparing a life for you that far exceeds what anyone else could ever give. Your journey begins now. Choose peace over approval. Choose yourself over the noise. Choose growth over chaos. And step into the life you were always meant to live. By taking these steps today, you're not just protecting your peace, you're stepping into your destiny. Every boundary you set, every moment you reclaim, and every person you let go of is a step closer to the life God designed specifically for you. This is your moment to stop overcaring, start thriving, and finally live with purpose, freedom, and unstoppable confidence. Do like and subscribe our channel for more.